In the heart of the Pacific Northwest, nestled deep within the Olympic National Forest, there lay a place so forsaken, so eerie, that even the bravest souls dared not speak its name. It was simply known as the Desolation Woods, a place where sunlight rarely penetrated the dense canopy of ancient trees, and where the very air seemed to carry a malevolent weight. Few had ventured into the Desolation Woods, and fewer still had returned to tell the tale. But on one fateful autumn evening, a man named Samuel Delaney, a self-proclaimed seeker of the supernatural, arrived at the edge of the forest with a morbid curiosity that outweighed his fear. Armed with a dim flashlight and a journal, he stepped over the threshold and into the abyss. As he delved deeper into the forest, the world outside began to disappear. The trees, their branches gnarled and twisted like the bones of forgotten corpses, closed in around him. The only sound was the rustling of leaves, like whispers in a long-forgotten language. Samuel's flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced like malevolent spirits. He muttered a curse under his breath and smacked the device, praying for it to hold out just a little longer. His footsteps echoed ominously through the woods, and the feeling of being watched intensified with every step. Hours passed, and Samuel's sense of time began to warp. He came upon a clearing, a small pocket of twisted, dead trees that bore a striking resemblance to skeletal remains. In the center of the clearing stood a solitary, ancient oak tree, its bark warped and contorted into grotesque faces. Unable to resist the pull, Samuel approached the tree, his trembling hand reaching out to touch its bark. As his fingers brushed against the rough surface, he felt a searing pain shoot through his hand, as if the tree itself recoiled in agony. Samuel recoiled as well, his hand throbbing in pain, but the damage was done. A dark mark, like a brand, had been etched into his flesh. Fear surged through Samuel as he stumbled away from the malevolent tree. His flashlight finally gave out, plunging him into total darkness. Panic gripped him, and he fumbled for his journal, his only source of light. With trembling hands, he opened the journal and read the words he had written earlier that day. In the Desolation Woods, the souls of the lost wander, trapped for eternity, seeking retribution for the sins of the living. As the words illuminated the page, Samuel heard whispers, faint at first, then growing louder and more insistent. They seemed to emanate from the very trees around him, and they spoke in a chorus of anguished voices. "Leave this place," they hissed. "You are not welcome here." Samuel turned to flee, but the forest had other plans. The trees themselves seemed to come alive, their twisted branches reaching out to ensnare him. He screamed as they tightened their grip, pulling him deeper into the heart of the Desolation Woods. Through the darkness, he caught glimpses of ghostly figures, the lost souls of those who had dared to enter before him. Their eyes were empty voids, their mouths twisted in eternal torment. They reached out for him, their spectral hands brushing against his skin like a chilling breeze. Desperation consumed Samuel as he fought to break free from the forest's clutches. He could feel the malevolence of the woods seeping into his very soul, twisting his thoughts, and filling him with a primal dread. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the forest released its hold on him. Samuel stumbled out of the Desolation Woods, gasping for breath, his body battered and bruised. He had survived, but he knew he would never be the same. In the years that followed, Samuel Delaney became a recluse, haunted by the memories of that accursed forest. He had seen the darkness that lurked within the Desolation Woods, and he knew that it hungered for more souls to claim. As the autumn leaves fell, and the wind whispered through the ancient trees, the Desolation Woods remained a place of dread and despair, a place where the lost souls of the past continued to roam, and where the living dared not tread. It was a place where darkness reigned, and where the horrors of the night came to life, a place known only as the Desolation Woods.